Hi everyone, welcome back to Plum Mashable. So for today's video, I'm going to be using Lawn Fawn stamp sets to make this cute little comic book Christmas strip kind of theme. That's sort of where I'm going with it. So if you want to see how I made it, then just keep watching. Alright, so I have pre-done a little bit of today's on purpose because it took me a little while to sort of get to it. So what I'm kind of imagining this is a little bit of like a comic strip. That's sort of how I've kind of drawn these up or coloured them in. So I've got 8 little scenes here that are using Lawn Fawn stamps. And what I thought I'd do is mat them on some black so they look like comic book strips, and then have them as little bits. So I'm just trying to work out where I want to put everything, because some match up and some are different. So I've got 2 like dark scenes and 2 sort of daytimey scenes, 2 really light daytimey scenes, and then 2 sort of indoor. So I've deliberately done that, and then obviously each of them have got a different kind of thing to it. I like the way that's sitting. I might move. I don't want them to go deliberately like that. I might have one in the middle. And I don't really leave myself enough space. I'll work that bit out in a sec. The first thing I need to do though is take off all my stickers because there's a lot of them. So I'm going to go ahead and do that just with my undo. And you will also notice that I have a few marks on here. I think that came up when I was playing with some ink for something else I was doing in my planner. So I may have a few marks here that I might have to try and find a way to cover at some point, but we'll work that out later. So I'm just going to go ahead and take off all of the stickers and I'll be right back. So there is a little bit of dirt, not dirt, but like marks around the place. I'm not going to worry about them until I get my little scenes down, because I can obviously cover up some of the mess. Whoops, there goes the pen. So I've cut these little comic book kind of pictures. These are I'll just make sure I tell you exactly what they are. 7.3 wide by 4.2 high. And I've done that on purpose because I want to mat them onto these little strips of black so that this kind of covers up most of the box area. And that way it gets me a little border around the side, which I thought looked a lot nicer and kind of gave it that comic book look. So the little bits here are 4.5 by 7.6. So I'm going to go ahead and stick all of these down onto their little backings, and then we'll work out where we're going to put each one. So I've got all of my little scenes here. So I'm just going to sort of put them places. I'm obviously going to cover up sort of some of them along the way. Not cover up some of them, sorry. I mean cover up the days of the week along the way. I really like this. I think the idea is good. I just need to make sure the execution is as good. I kind of like the idea of some of them being in the middle. The only downside to that is obviously I lose a bit of space, which is actually okay on the back end of the week, not so much on the front end of the week. So but I kind of need to have one in the middle. So I'm going to have that one in the middle because Tuesday is probably my quieter of the days. Have it sit like that. I need to pull that up because that's not straight, not even a little bit. I cut a bunch of the black ones, so it should just straight onto another one. There we go. Kind of like it like that. Now I can't have no washi tape on the top or the bottom, that's just annoying. So I'm going to put washi along the top and the bottom. I'm going to stick these down first so that they don't go like wobbling around my page. And then I can start putting the washi tape down, the stickers back in, and then showing you how I'll put other bits and pieces in here because I can't leave these blank, that's just going a bit too far. I do also want to make a shaker, so these are the things that we're still doing. So I'm going to go ahead and stick these down and we'll come back and do the washi. So I've got my little scenes all down. I think they look really cute. I'm kind of looking at just making sure it looks aesthetically pleasing, which it does. So I'm just going to go ahead and white out the December on the top. And then I'm going to put down some washi tape. So I'm kind of going black and white to sort of keep going with the black theme here. I may pull that one up in a second because it's not sitting very nicely. So this is Kiki K washi tape from probably two or 3 years ago, something like that. And I'm just trying to fit the Oh What Fun on the top, which it should fit. So I'm just following the line on the top of my page so that it's kind of straight. Go. And then I'll just cut off the excess on either side. Go. And then on the bottom, I have this Heidi Swap washi that I got from Spotlight a long time ago. And I'm just looking for anything that's just black and white. That's kind of the thought I'm going with. And I don't know if that makes it look too much like a prison. Stripes are just the wrong way. Now this washi is a little bit wider than my space, so I'm just going to cut off the excess. Now we get to put the days and the dates back in. So the days I'm using are the lime and mortar ones, and then I've got my Oscar and Lou date dots. I don't really mind that these don't quite match. I think it's okay. They're not quite the same font, but they're pretty close. And I'm just going to put them in different spaces. So this one, obviously Monday's going to go here. Tuesday will cover Tuesday. Wednesday I'll try and cover Wednesday. I actually have a funny feeling that Wednesday's gonna be too big, but anyway, we'll see how we go. Whoops. So I've got my little dot sort of to go with it. So I'm gonna try Wednesday. Hopefully it'll fit. It'll fit. So the Wednesday I'll go straight over the top of the one that's already there, and then we'll put the 23 dot in next to it. And there are still some spots that I've got some mess, it'll be fine. It'll end up looking okay because it won't be too over the top. Thank you, Jet. So I'm just going to go ahead and stick these down, and then we're going to put these stickers back in. So my Christmas Day, Christmas Eve one's back in, and then I'm going to work on my shaker. I think that looks really cool with the colours, because I've used black writing and black washi tape and everything with the black borders. It kind of all has fit together really nicely. Okay, so really quickly before I do the shaker, because I do want to do the shaker as well, just to let you know which stamp sets are which. So the penguins are from Here We Go A Waddling. The Yeti is from Yeti or Not, and then the background is from Over the Mountain Borders. The little reindeer here with the lights and the two squirrels are from Cheery Christmas. This one is from A Creature Was Stirring. These ones are from Merry Mice. These are from Ho Ho Holidays. This is from the Car Critters Christmas add-on, which I just love the little nose on the... Just love it, it's so cute. And then these ones are the Christmas peas. Called Peas on Earth, with the Over the Mountains borders in the background. I just think they're adorable. But I do want to do just one little kind of thing to make this a little bit different, a little bit more, and that's I'm going to make a shaker. I'm going to not cheat, but I'm going to use a set to kind of help me with that. So this is Ready Set Snow. It also has a shaker add-on called Ready Set Shake, which is what I'm going to use, or Ready Set Snow add-on, one or the other, which I'm going to use to make the actual kind of card. So I'm not going to do too much. I'll do a little bit of colouring here because obviously I've pre-coloured all of these ones. So this is the base. I'm going to use that to cut out the base. And then I'm going to use this one here to cut out the top of the shaker. The base I'm just going to cut from plain cardstock because it doesn't need to be fancy. I'm going to cut the front out from some Express It blending card because I do want to stamp that first. So I'm getting confused, but it's okay. Oh, it's right there in front of me. I want to stamp the snow globe first and then put the shaker over the top. While I've got all my die cuts and stuff out, I'm also going to cut myself some of this foam. This is Express It foam, but it's called, what's it called? I'll get the actual name of it. It's the Express It black adhesive foam sheets. It doesn't really matter if it's black or white. I'm not panicking about that. The colour's fine. But what it's going to do is it's going to allow me to stick this down without having to actually cut. Actually put any foam tape or anything down. It's just so much easier. So I'm just going to run that through the die cut machine as well. I'm thinking I'm going to colour the base in. That'll keep my brain moving. So I'm just going to colour this in using some Copics. And I'm really stuck on my E25 markers at the moment. I just think they're the most amazing brown colours, and it's going to give me this nice wood kind of look base. So I'll let you guys watch the colouring considering I did all the rest of it. So I'm just starting with the dark, which is called Burnt Umber. This is E29. Sorry, I put the lid there. And I'm just putting that on the edges. And the idea is here I'm going to try and make it look a bit round. And then coming in with E27, which is Milk Chocolate. And then we go from the same spot we were at, so right at the edge. You go over the top of the E29 and sort of pull it into the middle. It sort of softens the blending area just a little bit. Sometimes you have to go over it a couple of times, but generally will blend. And then we'll come in for E25, which is Cocoa Brown. Oh no, sorry, Caribbean Cocoa. And then last but not least, we'll come in with 23, which is Hazelnut. And this is just a personal thing, but I like to go back over the top of the whole thing with my lightest colour, especially if it's a big space like this. It doesn't have to be fully perfectly coloured in, but just to kind of smooth anywhere where it's not quite right. And then for the little bit here on the bottom that's the base, I'm going to use E29 and E27 and just sort of, oh, maybe I do it in gold. I haven't really used gold anywhere else, have I? So no, I used it on the, I'll do it in gold. So I'm just grabbing a yellow, so I'm grabbing Y18 and then Y28, which is this gold colour. On its own, that gold looks horrible. But if you put it with a yellow underneath, like this Y18, which is a really yellow, kind of gives it the gold look you want. So it's just going to be one colour. There's not going to be any blending to this. So you put the gold down, the yellow down first, then you put this gold over the top, and then it ends up looking actually gold. So I will, for the base, I will cut it out of the blending card, and that's just because I think I want to put a background on it so it kind of looks like one of these ones. I just don't know which one yet, but I'll do that with Copics. And it's easy to do that on blending card. I'm also going to cut out a bit of acetate out of this using this base shape, and that way we've got that sorted. And then we can actually start kind of putting some images on here so it looks right. So I'm going to colour the background. I really like, I'm just trying to see which one's going to get covered up. So the peas are going to get covered up more than anything else. Unless I put it that side. Yeah, okay, put it that side. Put it on that side. So I'm going to put the really light blue all behind it. So all I'm going to do is just colour in the whole of this background. So I used, oh, I'm trying to remember what shade I used there. I think it was B21. So I've just got one shade here, so I'm just going to go straight across, just using the chunky end. I like the finish it gives me with the streaks. Most of the time I like this to be really smooth, but there's something cool about the streaks when they go across like this. And they will kind of blend in together, so it won't look too bad. But it is very rare that I use the chisel tip. I'm just putting a second layer on it just to try and get it to kind of even out. Looks okay. I'm also going to put the chisel tip all around the edge in here, and that way it'll all even together. So there's that little snow globe, and on the back of the snow globe, or in the snow globe, I'm grabbing, this is my Seasons Tweetings, and I just want to stamp out, I think, one of the branches or lights. So I'm going to stamp out the lights and then a couple of the birds. So I'm just grabbing another bit of blending card, and I'll use my Misty again because this is a bigger stamp. I need to put new washi on my magnet. It's coming apart. So I'll stamp the whole string, but I just won't use the whole string. Now, actually, before I do the string, this is something I've learnt. With long stamps like that, it's sometimes better to die cut it first, and that's because you can then use the die cut to sort of line up the stamp, because often they can get bent they can get a bit bent. So I do usually cut these ones first. So I'm just going to cut the string out. Hold the die cut in the right spot, and then I can line up the stamp, and that way I know it'll be sitting right, because it's so easy for this to be just slightly bent. So I can line this up on the die cut, make sure it's straight, then I don't have to worry about doing it twice. There's nothing worse than cutting or like colouring an image or stamping an image and having it just right and then die cutting it and it doesn't look good. My little lights, and then I'm just going to really quickly stamp a couple of the birds. I think I'll do 3 birds. I'm going to do the one here with the little hat on, the one here, the antlers, sorry, the one who's caroling, and then just the plain sort of one on his own. Just stamp them out as well. And then I'm going to colour these ones in really quick, but I'll have the caps of the markers on the top so you guys can sort of see what colours I'm doing it, but I think I'll do this one a bit faster because I'm aware now that this video is probably gone for a really long time, despite the fact I pre-filmed a bunch of it, or pre-did a bunch of it.
So when I die cut this little guy, that whole thing I said about
when the dye just moves over just a little bit, that's what happened. So I'm just giving him a little bit more of an edge on one side because he has gone too far over to the right. If I fix it up, it doesn't look as unbalanced, so I can still get away with that, I think, but it definitely doesn't look like the way I wanted him to. Right, start working on this background. So I'm going to put the little lights everywhere I go. I've got to make sure I put this in the right spot. I'm going to have the lights sit like that. Actually, I might not need the little pink bird. It might be too much. There'll be too much. So I'm going to have just the two, the yellow and the green one, and the teal one, sorry, sitting on the wire. We'll just sort of trim those off. When I was colouring all of this, I did deliberately make sure that I tried to make sure that I used colours that I'd used in the scene. So all the yellows are repeated colours from somewhere else, and all of the teals are repeated from somewhere else. So that way it sort of all ends up looking cohesive in the end. I've got my little yellow birdie, we'll put our little antlered birdie. I love this set. I'm so glad I got it. It was the Simon Says Stamp-Tember release, and it was just so cool. Just so cool. Okay, let's put this shaker together. So I'm really quickly going to go ahead and stick down the acetate. Now the acetate is the easiest to do with some double-sided tape. It is strong, it is movable, and it's not going to cause me too much issue. So I'm just going to put that around the frame. It is a little painful, but it is the easiest way to do it. Find that liquid glue doesn't hold it still enough. If you need to, you can just remove the release paper, and that makes it much easier. It sticks to your fingers a little bit more, but it will be more malleable. And really the only thing that's poking up here is the release paper as I'm taking that off, so it'll be absolutely fine in a minute. I'm just going to use a slightly wider one for the bit at the bottom. It's the fun of having lots of different widths, of tape. The hardest part is getting it to sit nicely on the acetate. I'm trying to tidy it up a little bit because it's got some sticky stuff all over it, but it's alright. Just line that up as best I can, and if there's any overhang I'll just go around with my scissors. Actually, there's not enough there to worry about. And then we'll stick the frame on. So I like to stick the frame to the back piece. And that's just because then the acetate sort of becomes the, what's the word I'm looking for? The lid to keep all of the stuff in, so you can put everything in the well. This is the hardest bit for me. I have real trouble getting this part to line up. So I kind of try and start on the side and then bring it over. Go. And then we're going to go a little bit crazy with some powder. It'll look like a lot, but it'll sort itself out. Get in and around all the sort of sticky bits. I like to run my finger on the inside. Oh, I just realised I didn't put white gel pen on the lights. So I'm just going to fix that up really quickly before I put the lid on. While that's drying, I'm also going to put some powder all over the back of the acetate. And again, it'll look a bit foggy, but once it gets the stuff moving, it'll all come off. Okay, so for the stuff in the middle, this is some Portercraft glitter shaker. I think I just got this from my local cheap shop a very long time ago. There are gold stars, black stars, rose gold hearts, champagne hearts, silver stars, clear stars, and gold stars. And I'm just going to grab the clear stars and my little triangle tray in there. Probably put a little bit too much in the tray, but that's okay. So they're all in there. And I'm going to take off the release paper. Now you guys know I struggle a little bit with shakers. If you saw the video the other week where I did the dome, you know that. So this is my attempt again at trying to get a shaker to work. We'll get one to work eventually. And we're going to put put the lid on. That was not going on straight. Now I've got a couple of stars stuck on my foam, so I'm just putting them back in with the tweezers. Never like it when the stars are flying up to the acetate. It means there's too much static in there. But now, because this is black, the back, like the foam's black, you can't tell quite as much. Oh, that's better than some of my others. That's actually not bad. There's some sticking to the outside, but that's 90% right. I'm okay with that. I'm very okay with that. That's worked. All right. So to finish it off, I need to obviously attach this to something so it's got somewhere to flip. This is just a plain bit of white cardboard. I don't want to go too over the top because obviously the rest of it is over the top. So I'm just going to have that stuck on there like that. I'm going to cut and just have it not straight. I'll go around it, but I just need the width or the height to be right so I can put the holes in it. So I'm going to leave the whole of that edge as it is and then just trim around the outside. So that'll make sense in a sec. Close to the best shaker I've ever done, which is probably really pathetic, but at least it's done for a change. Now it's not perfect on the back, obviously, but I think it'll be fine. I could have done it in black. I could also go back. I want to be able to write on the back though. I'm going to put some to-dos and bits and pieces on the back. So I'm not so worried about that part of it. I am going to mark my holes really quick. And that way it's also going to hide that little bit of black ink that I accidentally got on there. I was just thinking to myself, I probably should have punched the holes first because I think I'm going to have trouble, which I am. Very last thing I need to do, because I'm aware this has gone on forever, but damn, I love it. I really love this. I think this is actually one of my favorites. I just need to cover up these bits and pieces. There we go. That's my week of Christmas using Lawn Fawn to kind of make it look like a comic strip. I didn't need to do the shaker. The shaker's a complete total add-on, but I really like it. I think it's worked, and I really love the way that shakes. It's actually worked the way I wanted to for a change. The amount of excess powder has paid off. So maybe that's the tip. Maybe it's use more powder. I could have put a little like Merry Christmas or something on there, but honestly I don't think it needs it. I think it's good the way it is. Let me know what you guys think though. I know the Lawn Fawn ones can sometimes go over the top, but I just love them and I have so many. It's just fun to be able to mix and match the sets, and it's probably my favourite thing about Lawn Fawn. I know I've said this about a bazillion times. My favourite thing is that they mix and match and that you can use 3 or 4 or 5 different sets all together at once. In this case 8, 9 different sets, and you can still make something that looks really cohesive. So thank you very much for sitting through this one. I hope you did enjoy it. Please give it a big old thumbs up if you did, and don't forget to be subscribed to my channel. You can also catch me on all of my socials. I'm there as well if you want to find me or ask me a question or tell me that these are way over the top and to calm down. You can do that all over on my socials, or here you can leave a comment as well. Hope you guys have an absolutely awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you again in my next video. Sending lots of huggles. Bye!